Hello. Yo, 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 yo. How are we doing, peeps? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Wheaty coming in with a tier 2 for 21 months. Wheaty, thank you very much, my friend. I hope you are well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you, mate. It's very kind of you. Big shout out to Hazy, Kate, and I think Puyo as well. Thank you guys very much for the offline subs. One of them was a tier 1 as well for 11 months. So I appreciate that. Welcome, guys. How are we? Excuse me. Welcome, Michael. Hello, my friend. Yeah, it has been a while. How are you? Long time no see. Picotronics, welcome, my friend. Who we got in the chats? Good afternoon. Claw, Miro, Sparta, Liu. We got Kerr, we got Tristan, Wicked, Garbage. Wellen, hello there. Just fixed an OLED that someone tried modding. 3 out of 3. Capacitor shorted. The display resistor gone. And same for Wi-Fi cap. Wellen, how on earth did you know that it was all of that? Lord the glove. Currently 3D modeling a trade show event stand. Can't wait to get back to the coding. Currently 3D modeling a trade show event stand. I don't know what that is, Tristan. I wish you the best of luck, though. Cody, welcome. Sakita, welcome. How are you today? First time chatter, welcome to the madness. Dino, welcome. 1 by 1. Yeah, Lord, the glove, Wellen. You've done well. And sorry. Bez, welcome. Thunder, hello. Over to the YouTube. What we got? Who we got? Bodge Player, Hugh, welcome. J Fix, welcome, buddy. Zhao. Claw, Angelo, John, Chuffin, Ben. Nis, welcome. Kashi, good afternoon, my friend. Damien, Daniel, good afternoon. Acidic, hello. And obviously, Michael. Moonlight, welcome. How are you? And I have the board view with the screen print for the Xboxes. I don't personally. Rob, welcome. Just as a heads up and FYI, by the way, the microscope was sent out yesterday. So hopefully that gets received. I put it on a 48-hour tract. So what are we today? Tuesday. By tomorrow, the person should have it. But I did manage to get an address and all of those good things. So that's all sorted. But I feel sluggish today. You know, I feel really sluggish. Really sluggish. Just slow. I feel so slow today. I feel so slow. Love your videos. Currently saving up to get a soldering station. Hoping to start fixing electronics. Hopefully someday I can get as good as you at fixing. Sakita, I have no doubts that you will be better. 10 times the tech I will ever be. But thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Gary, welcome, buddy. Elizit says, hey, Jerry, I'm trying to get into the hobby, but I'm not sure which soldering station and microscope I should start with. Any recommendation for quality that doesn't break the bank? That doesn't break the bank and quality in the same sentence is a real tough one. Because I've personally only used Andenstar as a microscope and Tomlov. At work, for the first day I used, and for my interview, I used the Trinoc from, what's the big microscope company, chat, that everybody gets a Trinoc from? What's it called? Hema, welcome. Thank you very much for the Prime subscription. Amscope, that's it. Yeah. So Amscope was one that I was using, the big trinocular one, and I used that for a day, and that was great quality. Just a lot of fiddling to line everything up, I feel. Once you got it good, though, it was really, really good. Like, my dexterity on the trinocular was improved tenfold, and I'd never used that microscope before. So I think if you were wanting to get, it depends on so many factors. Starting out, I would say even something, if you want to go cheap but good quality, your phone will do a very good job compared to your eyes. So you can use something like a stand in your phone to zoom in. That wouldn't break the bank. And if you have a good phone, like an iPhone or something, that would be a pretty solid thing to do to start with. You could also get like microscope attachments for your phone. But I would say either phone to not break the bank for the microscope, or I haven't got any experience with like the 50, 60 pound ones that you actually get on Amazon. I have no experience with that. I saved up and I jumped in and I got my Andenstar, which is now in the loft. But that Andenstar was like £200, I think, when I got it. Soldering station, again, wrong person to ask because I have my Hako. And before that, I bought an Amazon one budget for like 20 quid. I wouldn't recommend it. Because it does the kit I would recommend, but buying the actual soldering iron on itself, I wouldn't. That is an option for not breaking the bank though. £20 and you'll get a whole set. Soldering iron, blue mat, little multimeter, like a bunch of stuff.
Joey, for all the free repairs you have done for families with kids. I feel I need to do this. You're the best.
All right. You don't need to do it, Cody. I'll be 100% frank and honest with you. I'm in a very fortunate and lucky position whereby I can do this because of people watching and supporting in the way that they do. But it's not something that is needed. 1,000 bits is very generous. So thank you very, very much for that. You've started a hype train as well. So I appreciate you. Thank you. But you don't have to do that, my friend. Joe, I'm really good. How are you? Beth, how are you? How's the job situation, Beth? Be interested to know. I ordered a Yazan microscope with an arm, different lenses, light, all you need for $140. But I didn't arrive yet. But I've seen good reviews. Okay. Gary, welcome, buddy. How's the garage? How do you manage to find broken Nintendo Switches? I'm trying to learn, and I like the console. Guys, I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to pause the music. This is how honest and brutal I'm going to be at the moment. eBay is dry. For my usual things that I buy and my research that I do and what I've been comfortable doing for profit or loss, it's so dry. I'm talking weeks. I'm in a predicament whereby I can't find stuff. I don't know if people are just being quick and they're beating me every single time I check, but I just look and it's the same stuff. I also do think it is a more conscious effort on my end to get a better profit and not feed into sellers that are wanting ridiculous money for eBay items. So I've been having a bit of a think, and you know, just been going through some things in my head. And the good thing about this is that I am able to adapt and adjust. So, you know, I might need to take some risks and see what happens with some different. I need to hedge my bets in different areas and see if I can either just source other stuff, or what do I do? How do I go about doing stuff? You know, I'm not willing to pay £190/£200 for a faulty console, for a faulty PS5. I'm not doing it. And you know, the offers that I send in, I'm going like 150, which, can I say, is already a bit too much at 150. The way that things are selling. So yeah, I'm just a bit. I mean, I've got an OLED on for £110. I'd done a video for Profit or Loss where I had the OLED and I fixed it, and a couple of the comments said, because I said I'm going to sell it for £100, I put that on the spreadsheet on Profit or Loss. People said, Joey, £100 is too cheap. I've listed it for 110, started 120, listed for 110, still not sold. It's going to go for 100. It's an interesting conversation, Tom. YouTubers make eBay too expensive for broken stuff. I don't think I've ever massively overpaid for something. Ever. So by me putting like, I think by me buying the stuff that I do, and I'm engaging in this as a conversation, right? So like, how would it make it more difficult? How would it make it more difficult for people to buy stuff on eBay? From me buying stuff for quote unquote reasonable prices. Before I started this situation, by the way, I was paying ridiculous for stuff. Because I see people a lot of the time say YouTubers have made stuff very expensive. And I'm just trying to gain an understanding and gain more sort of an opinion if that is true or not, right? So if I go to my Profit or Loss series, I'm going to go to Profit or Loss Season 1. I've purchased myself a few full... It doesn't get more real than this. This is the first episode of Profit or Loss. I want to see how much I paid for this stuff. Nearly 3 years ago. Not true. Oh, it's February 2023. Over 2.5 years ago. Okay? Or 2.5. February. Yeah, over 2.5 years ago. Ready? Let's see how much I paid for what items. Over 2.5 years ago. Before I started even doing this stuff. And, chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Phil did. I think Phil was doing like a bit of a Profit or Loss thing. Other than Phil, and Tronics Fix was doing his, but his wasn't like a episode Profit or Loss. Tronics Fix would just buy like 75,000 broken Nintendo Switches and then fix them. But for the Profit or Loss, like this style of content, other than what Phil tried, I think I was the only person doing this 2.5 years ago. I could be wrong. I know there was a lot of like, I don't know, I'd say a lot, but like, you know, like eBay resellers and stuff. I know that there was a couple of eBay resellers and stuff doing content back then, but I think this is the first time. So what were the prices like when I started, when people didn't really know about it necessarily?
eBay in the attempt of repairing the first faulty item is in a rather big box.
Xbox One S.
This is way doesn't have any power. Absolute behemoth. And for this item, I actually paid £200. To item.
Oh, okay, fine, right, all right. It went from Xbox One S to £200 because I skipped ahead. I said, what on earth was I doing?
Doesn't have any power. The total cost of this item was £45.
45 quid. I know for a fact Xbox One S consoles back then were selling for £80 to £90. I would not buy an Xbox One S now for £15. My point being, the prices here are before I got involved in the game or before I was even putting it on YouTube for everyone else. So I've paid £45 for an Xbox One S that was listed on eBay. How have I made that item £45? Because they would have been listed for £45. I might even put an offer in for that one. Let's see what the Xbox Series X was.
Then we move on to item number 2. Is an absolute behemoth, and for this item I actually paid £200.
Xbox Series X.
Fact,
Right, Xbox Series X, £200. Now what would I pay for an Xbox Series X? 140, max 140. Depends on the situation, depends on what the fault is, how, you know, if it's been attempted repair before. It depends on a lot of things. But again, that was listed for £200. So if someone could tell me, I'm open to this conversation. The logic behind somebody saying YouTubers have made it worse, please, because I paid £200 for this Xbox Series X, and it wasn't a thing then. This is the first episode of the series. So things were going for a lot of money back then, 2.5 years ago. Now they're 100. Now they're still roughly around about the same price. £200 is probably what they're listed for now. Because they were newer, they were still years old 2.5 years ago. Chat, PS5, Xbox Series X. What is that? 6 years or 5 years? My point being, I don't think YouTubers have made the prices what they are today. I don't think that's a part of it. Personally. But again, I mean, you know, open to the conversation about it. I'm just trying to get an idea as to where people are getting the idea that it has, like, where in what way, like, how have we made it, how's it been made worse, you know? Maybe in the sense that other people, you know, are influenced to pay X amount, but I always say I wouldn't pay any more than this or any more of that. I completely get that actually when I do it and somebody gets involved in the hobby, but I mean, if somebody's new to the hobby and they're then spending £200 on something that's faulty, I'd be like, what are you doing? Because, I mean, if you're not going to be able to fix it, and if it's on eBay, chances are an experienced tech's been through it, and if they're not going to be able to fix it, the chances of you fixing it are going to be rather slim, unless it's something that's really obvious. And you're going to be able to sell that back on eBay for £150, you've lost £50. That's why I always say start with like cheap Nintendo DS Lites and all those things. Yeah, it made it worse. I think more people want to save money and try fixing it themselves. I get a hefty 50-50. I get 2 questions. Chat, what are the 2 questions I get asked majority of the time? It's different on different platforms, but I'm talking about the majority. If I was to combine all my platforms together, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, everything. If I put everything together, what are the 2 most asked questions I get? Not even tools. Am I single? Show feet. Guys, honestly, why did I even bother, huh? Courses. Courses is up there, but not top. Bunnies, no. It's to do with eBay costs. eBay now charge a buyer protection fee. Sellers, exactly, yeah. That's a very good point, Daniel. All my safe searches on eBay have completely dried up over the last few years too. I used to buy broken Game Boys, repair them and sell them for a profit. But there's nothing but overpriced items now. Maybe people are just more aware. And therefore, with demand, prices go up. It's sales 101, no? How much can you make? So the two top questions. Number 1, I'd probably say this is more. This is probably the most. How can I get started in doing this? That's number 1. That's number 1. How can I get started doing this? How do I learn electronic repair? Number 2, second most asked. Joey, can you please fix this for me? So, in relation, going back to like people trying to fix stuff themselves, I get a mixture of people saying, I don't want to fix it, can you fix it? And how do I start it so potentially I can fix it? Do you know what I mean? So there's like, it's a 50-50. That's what happens. So the reason I said that is because it was in relation to somebody who said about people are more willing to try and fix their own stuff. Yeah. Out of curiosity, says Madcat USA, what would be a good selling price for a working Nintendo Color Pikachu edition? Madcat, are you talking about a Nintendo Switch? Or what are you talking about specifically? What device? Overpriced items are in the norm in Japan too. Very fine to hard cheap faulty items. I think they're still probably made. Yeah, I just have to do it. I just have to do a complete 180 and look at some other bits and bobs. Joe, maybe you should set up an online video training course where people can pay to access. It's a really tough one. It's a really tough one. Courses have such a negative reputation online. Courses have such a negative reputation. And I try and put out as much as I possibly can for free. The benefit of a course would be you're searching my channel over 500 videos, over 400 live streams to find an answer to something about repair. A course would be you're paying X amount to have all that pushed to the side and your answer there. That's what you're paying for, essentially. You can sift through my 500. That's the only way I could potentially justify it and come in with that angle. But I don't know, man. Courses have such a people judge them a lot. People are very judgmental when it comes to courses and stuff. Raikou, welcome. Best of luck today. Thank you very much. I appreciate you and your face. Have you followed from today? How did you find my content, Raikou? Game Boy Color. Is it a Game Boy Color? Did that person specify Game Boy Color? I don't think so. They've disappeared. Madcat USA. Unless I missed it. Nintendo Switch prices have gone way down hard to sell a tablet for under 50. I know, Mike. Thing is, that could be because of what? What do we have? We have an OLED and we have a Nintendo Switch 2 in the scene. So naturally, the Switch is going to go bye-bye. And then what we'll probably see is Nintendo Switches will start going up in about 5 years. So grab onto those Switches right now. If you've got a pile, stockpile. Put them in the loft. Do you find yourself hesitating to give advice because you don't want to tell someone something and then go and mess up their item? No. I don't necessarily think about that Valicious too much. Because that person can make their own decision. You know? I always try to advise. It's difficult. It's really difficult. But I'm not necessarily somebody to tell somebody if they can or can't do something. I'm not that person. Nobody is that person. You know? Specifically for soldering, I guess. Or just, yeah, lots in life. But I know I wouldn't. I mean, that's completely up to them. Pick, welcome. How are you? What could be a problem with a Switch that doesn't dock? The screen goes black. The TV sees somewhat a signal, but in the end says that there is none. It was worked before personal console. Emmanuel, it could be a bunch of things from a filter to the P13 USB chip, which is the video IC responsible for displaying that image onto the TV. It could be a bunch of things. It could be the port. I would start with checking the filters, which are, you'll have like 4 or 5. I think it's 5 filters on the back. You're meant to have continuity through the filter, but not diagonally. Check those. Sorry, Joe, missed your answer. Cat was throwing up. I'm sorry to hear, Mad Cat. I hope your cat's okay. I just asked, what console specifically was it? Was it a Nintendo Switch? Was it a Game Boy? We need a loft tour. Nobody needs a loft tour. Scared to what Joey's loft might look like? It's nothing special, guys. Why not do a simple playlist based on teaching repairs? It's a fine line, acidic, between I need to earn a living. I don't think those videos would do too well. It's an unfortunate circumstance where what I do to make a living is content creation, and I need to think about the views that a video gets to pay my way through life. So if I was to go and make a playlist of how to do XYZ, plus the amount of time that it would take to plan everything, it's then taking time away from a profit or loss video or something that will do well. Profit or loss videos tend to do well, which is why I love doing them. I love a go at fixing anything where it would be do it as a different kettle of fish, yeah. I finally got around to looking at my MacBook Logic motherboard. Looks like it was a short to ground behind the LCD FPC. It looks like a small explosion has worked its way through the board. GG. Potentially fixable. Potentially. Thank you for the hype train, guys. I appreciate it. I personally found the best deals are on job lots on eBay, single items. See, I've looked at job lots as well. I can't see any good ones. Yeah, don't get me started about Switch lights. How much did I sell my recent Switch Lite for, guys? Listen to this. I fixed the Nintendo Switch Lite. I bought it for like £40 or something. I thought, yeah, do you know what? Nice. We're going to get this sorted. We're going to get it sold. We're going to make a profit. How much did I sell it for? Where is it? I really struggled. I had to put the price down like 3 times. £60. After eBay fees and everything else taken into consideration, £58, 7 pence. Crazy. YouTube, I joined the Discord trying to repair a power button issue on a Switch Lite, and RVNR in the Discord ran me through from start to finish and diagnosing the issue and fixing it. Absolute legend, made decent profit on that Switch Lite too. I love to hear it, Raikou. I absolutely love to hear it. Well done for doing it. Well done for fixing it. How did it feel? I bet it felt amazing. Yeah, big shout out to RVNR. I love RVNR. Do I do YouTube full time? Yes, I do content creation full time. Not just YouTube, but everything else as well. Yep. IC programming is very interesting. The Great Dane, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You ever consider doing anything like Uber Micro Repair does, running your own business, selling PS? Yeah, I mean, I feel like that specific market is very saturated, and there's a lot of people selling parts. There's a lot of that happening. There's a lot of people selling parts. So in a competitive market, and the margins I think are very small. You know, you've got Phil who's smashing it. He's got a great website, consolefix.shop, and I think he does really, really well from it. I don't know. But for example, for me to get something like that up and running would take so much, and I don't know if it's necessarily worth it, purely because of the fact of volume, how much time it would take to set everything up, how much time it would take to manage. That's one thing you have to think about as well. That is a full-time job in its own, by the way. Having something like an online shop like that is a full-time job on its own. I thought about doing actual repairs. For you guys know, how many times have I been back and forth about the actual repair situation? Do you like a t-shirt, by the way? Yep. You know, I've gone back and forth so many times about like just taking on repairs, because the amount of messages that I get, I'd easily be able to make some good money by doing some and that's console repairs as well, guys. I don't need to though. I don't need the stress at the moment, and my main thing is the content. My main thing is the content. Maybe I'm missing out on something though. Maybe I'm missing out on something. Maybe I need that little bit of like that side of stress. Like this is obviously there's stress to this, but that is another side of stress. Stress is good in small portions, guys. It challenges you. It makes you think. I have another logic board at the same model that is iCloud locked, transparent M2, NAND and Wi-Fi as all paired to each other. Yeah, I don't know if that's is that even a doable thing. Project Elixir, welcome. How are you? Who is this Joey guy? That's me. And why he does tech? I tried to repair tech Welcome, by the way, Project. Why is the general advice never to repair a power supply? They're dangerous. The caps, not the power supply itself, but the caps in a power supply are very dangerous, depending on the power supply. Hi Joe, just wanted to pop in and say thanks so much for your inspirational format and ways of teaching. Because of you, I ordered a microscope and I'm now furthering my repair skills. Huge thanks. Happy JC Gamers, you're more than welcome. Thank you for telling me that because you've made me happy. Thank you. You can go down the Northridge Fix route of having all three: content, workshop and store. You can, yeah. There's no questioning how he's very successful in terms of business. You can't question that. He's done very well for himself. Zabu says, Zabur, sorry, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct. Hi Joe, do you have a professional background in electronics or all self-taught? I am all self-taught, Zabur. Do you want to see something, my guy? Look at this. You ready? Are you ready for this? Let me show you something. Let me tell you something.
It's your boy Joey Does Tech.
5 years ago, chat. If I can do it, anyone can do it. Ready? 5 years ago. First video. First time touching something electronic.
And welcome to my new YouTube channel. This is going to be a YouTube channel based on pure technology, repairs, upgrades, whatever I can kind of get my hands on from a complete beginner's perspective. I have no knowledge, no experience, nothing when it comes to repairing technology. In fact,
I should get a soundboard, right? And when people ask the question, because that's a common one, like, Joey, what was your experience? I should play this.
no experience, nothing when it comes to repairing technology.
That I should have that. Chat, yes or no? I should have that as a button on a Steam Deck, whatever you call it, a Stream Deck.
Experience, nothing beginner's perspective.
Joey, do you have any background knowledge in electronics or experience?
I have no knowledge, no experience, nothing when it comes to repairing technology.
From my first ever video. And then you can see, I won't go through it. Gloves from the start.
So this is what we're going to be working with.
Yeah.
Right? This is what we work with. This is our foundation. Without a doubt, the most important piece of kit that we can possibly get is this.
I said it from day one, chat. The most #1 important piece of kit you can get.
Screwdriver set. It's Dayard. I've never heard of Dayard before. Apparently, all the reviews on Amazon were giving it top-notch marks, good feedback.
So that's there we go. Look, iPhone.
The screen's cracked.
Yep. The repair, the struggles were real, the sweats were real.
Back in the case now.
I looked horrendous.
So, lightning connector coming from the bottom, and then the screen was like red.
Guys, this is what I used to look like back then. Look.
I'm gonna make this just a real quick update / wrap up video of what's
This
just happened. Because I think
same guy.
I'm going to punch myself in the face. I had an iPhone 5. In the previous video, which you probably see around about here, we replaced the battery. Now, in this
Well
video,
done,
that I've uploaded now, is meant to be me speaking to you guys. It's meant to be a video of me replacing a screen on my iPhone 5. This is
Yep.
what the screen used to look like.
Yep.
All the cracks.
Tell them what happened, Joey.
Lots of cracks. All the way down the screen.
Tell them what
I
happened.
replaced the screen with a brand new part that I bought. However, I went through a journey.
What's going on with this beard, man? It's 4 hairs.
An absolute journey. I replaced the screen, but I cracked it at the top right corner. And this was because the camera on the back of the phone on the inside was poking out a little bit, and I hadn't noticed. So when I fit the screen and put everything back on, I turned the phone on, noticed the crack, and I was like, do you know what? Because of the amount of effort that I went into replacing this.
This is what happened. Anyway, I'll turn it off there. But yeah, no experience. To answer your question. To answer your question, no experience. Nothing. Nada. Zilch. Self-taught. Yeah. Didn't even unwrap the blue mat eventually. Yeah. Looks like a scene out of Breaking Bad. What do you guys mean? Some people start repair business not knowing how to solder. If they can do it, you can do it too. Very true. Wouldn't recommend that, but yeah, very true. Why have you got a spark plug on your shirt, on your t-shirt? A spark plug? This is a goated t-shirt. Limited edition. Some people have this in the chat. This was merch, guys. This was merch. Limited edition merch. There's a handful of people that have this t-shirt. Should I tell you how many? Excluding me. Let me see. Because I've got all the informations to the nations. Products. Where is it? Profit or loss, season 1. Minus me. 58. That's quite a lot, actually. It's more than I thought. 50k. Yeah. 58. Yep. I got that t-shirt. Exactly. There we go, Claw. Thanks to Joey. Claw, was that one that I gifted to you? How did you get a job at Rocket Repairs? I could just start like this. It's rude of me to do this, and I'm doing this as a joke, by the way. I'm doing this as a joke. I have the answers here for you, my friend. How I landed a dream job at a repair shop. Right there. Rocket Repairs.
And just always gave them a warning saying,
and I go through.
I have quite a lot of people asking me the same questions, whether that be in my YouTube comments, my Twitter DMs. Or
Yeah. I feel like I have a video for every question. LearnRepair, welcome, bass. I'm going to do a bass. Is it got a t-shirt? I have 2. My guy Miro. Yes, it was. Lovely jubbly. Who made that design? Big up Marv. Thanks for the videos on the ROG Ally. I'm using them to help resolve power issues on 2 I have. Nice. Good stuff. And the shipping on your merch is kind of amazing. I'm in Michigan. When I ordered your t-shirt, the original was here within a week. I think that's because they're based in the US. One of the manufacturers is based in the US, actually. Wicked. So that would make sense. Careful, Pedro. Guys, I'm going to do a toilet real quick. Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair has a name. Has anyone ever told you you look like Hooksy? Who is Hooksy? From CSGO? Do you know what? Burno, out of the thousands of people that have said, you know, you look like this person, this person, this person. I see it. I personally see it. I see it. Fair play. Fair play. Yeah, I see it. Joey is presenting the season 1 end t-shirt as a way to tell us that season 2 is over and we still don't know about it. No, it's not the case. It's not the case. I was ranting at the start of the stream, Brad, about how I'm really struggling to find stuff at the moment on eBay. So I mean, if that tells you anything, I'm really struggling. I need a supplier like air. I can talk about this because I found out about it and it's all kind of like in moving and stuff. There's do you guys remember that I told you that there was something that I would potentially tell you in the last stream? Peter, welcome. So I got a message. I've been speaking to. There was perhaps an opportunity. there was an opportunity for me to not take over. I mean, it was just talks. It was very, very loose talks about potentially running Rocket Repairs. There was very, very loose and this was a stressful conversation that I was talking to a few people about. Nothing was confirmed. It was just like we were just in talks about how it would look and how it would be. But the situation itself was just it would have been way too stressful. It would have been way too stressful. But because I worked there, the guy knows my work ethic and, you know, knows a lot about me and of the YouTube channel, and I think he still watches here and there. We did have those sorts of talks about how it would look if I was to take the repair shop and he was to move on to other things. But it just didn't line up properly. There was a few things that I was concerned about that would have made it very stressful. So what's actually happened is Rocket is no more. Unfortunately, it's very sad for me to say that. And the people that worked at Rocket have gone off and started their own repair shop. So there's 2 people who worked at Rocket and they've gone off to start their own repair shop now as a business. So, which is really cool. I only found out about this a couple of days ago, but I think it's been in the works for a while. But they're just finishing up a few touches. So, I mean, it'll be really interesting for me to go there and take a look. I'm really excited because I get on with those guys. I get on with them. Rems, thank you very much for converting from a Prime to a Tier 1. I appreciate the support. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to going to go see how they're setting up and how everything's going. I think they just wanted their own brand, Hayes. I think they wanted to make something their own. Have you looked into foreclosure, insolvency auctions, etc. to buy cheap? I haven't, Zalba, no, but I wouldn't know where to start. I mean, I've had a look on, like, some of the websites are very, like, intimidating. They don't look like proper websites, if that makes sense. These, like, auction foreclosure sites that you can buy stuff at. So yeah, when I see them and they don't look that legit, I get a little bit skeptical because it's also big money that you're spending on those sorts of sites, you know. So I'd need one that I would trust by recommendation. Overway, welcome. How are you? Even though it wasn't the right opportunity at the time, that's so cool. We get into the point. It was interesting. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it was cool. I came to the conclusion, Beth. My final conclusion was, if I wanted to open a shop or something for repairs, that I would like to do it myself. That was the final conclusion. I wouldn't want to take on another shop name, or, you know, I'd want to start it from scratch, build it up from. I mean, imagine the series, guys. Imagine the content. It'd be so good. New series. Instead of profit or loss, it could be like something like profit by trade, or I'd think of some sort of weird name. But how cool would that have been? From episode 1 to opening the shop. We could do road to VAT. That's actually pretty good.
I'm wondering how many people throw their broken electronics away instead if selling them is broken.
I was one of them. You don't necessarily know any better. You don't know any better. I see Jake from LTT has his own channel on YouTube and have a long-term LTT screen. Oh, really? Which one was Jake? I don't want to type in Jake from...
I have quite a lot of people asking me the same questions, whether that be...
Where on earth was that? Jake from LTT. Oh, he was like... I'm sure he was like quite involved in all the videos, no? The network guy. That's not him, is it? Oh, you're saying the network guy is him. Not that's what the channel is. Instead of profit or loss, the only profit, at least we hope. Exactly. That'll be the journey though, right? It's just a lot of stress, guys. Hi, Joey says Big Nose Energy. Thanks to your videos, I decided to try repair my Xbox controller with stick drift. It was stressful, but I managed it, and the feeling of to fix it myself was amazing. That's why I got into the love of the game. Yep. Aka. Is it? Oh, Jacka. Oh, yeah. Wow. One video. 266,000 views. 18 hours ago. 47,000 subs. Fair enough. Wow, fair play to him. Dean, thank you very much for the 200 bits, by the way. I appreciate you. I know those sites, the estate sale sites, look like they made a Microsoft Publisher 2003. Yeah. I have an idea, but I don't know if it will be good or not. Do you want to hear it? Yeah, go for it. Why not? Yo, Zunarox. Zunarox, have I said that right? If so, I've smashed that. Already on episode 19 of season 2 of Fixing Faulty Electronics for a Profit. Having a blast and learning so much. Found your channel just last week. Working hard to catch up. Hello from France. Bonjour. Thank you. And then straight underneath that, we get Eagles Marv, who is also from France. Welcome. Zunarox, I think I said your name right. Just came here to say hello and wishing you a good stream. Thank you, Marv. I appreciate you. Somebody asked about the t-shirt, the art on the t-shirt. Marv is the guy. Have you ever tried to contact tech recycling centers and ask them for broken techs, PS5, PlayStation, PC, etc., and get from them the products to repair, even if they cannot be repairable? You can use them for spare parts. What do you think about it? Oh yeah, absolutely. It's just Albix, something like that requires a lot of money. Something like that, but because you're buying in bulk at that point. I know there's actually a lot of places that sell or just chuck, right? Like a sell or chuck situation. I think the idea of that is very fun. You know, like Salem Techsperts, right? He got more into the repair, into the, what do you call it? The refurb game. I can understand probably be stressful, but you can literally get some PCs ready, sell them for cheap, stick a warranty on them. Bob's your uncle. If only it was as simple as that. I mean, everyone has that idea, right? And that's also PCs. I mean, you've got cash converters. That's the thing. If you were to go into a game like that, you're getting involved with CEX and other computer shops. So the competition for secondary items, second-hand items, is so high. And CEX have their own repair centers now, right, chat? No fix, no fee, console repairs. How can you compete with that? Am I reading this right? 24-month warranty on all repairs. 24-month warranty on all repairs. 2 years. Check the fine print. What's the fine print? How much they charge. techcenter.com. So it's outsourced, right? I think we talked about this before. It's outsourced, right, to Tech Center. techcenter.com. PS5 repairs. Repair quote. PS5 digital. All console problems. Bring your consoles back to its prime with a clear and upfront pricing structure and no hidden fees, backed by our standard 2-year warranty. Let's go Trustpilot. Yeah, let's have a look. Why not? £100. 7 working days. Sorry, and stories of customers forcing the shop to replace something they want repaired. Oh yeah, of course, that would happen loads, Greg. You could do a monthly subscription service that you will attempt to repair for free for them, with part and labor included. I don't know how that would work. Is that a vape? I'm talking about the ones that are not possible to fix and get them for free. And then use them for spare parts. I don't know if it's possible, but you can try and see what they say. It's a different business. It's a different business, isn't it? So it's like, it's thinking about... I know it sounds stupid, but it's almost like... no, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I don't know what's next for JDT. I have no idea. I love the content creation. I love the content creation. I do. I do love the content creation side of things. Tutti Frutti on a Rudy, welcome. No, they haven't, Mohammed. Paul Daniels. My guy. I've missed you, Paul. What have you got to say? What's all this being lazy? I take it back. What's all this? Was I about lazy and not fixing something? Have you already won all the challenges for today? I haven't started, mate. I haven't started. So you take a small monthly fee like an insurance, and if there's ever a problem, you will repair. Oh, so you're talking about coding. You're talking about taking on repairs, charging for that service, and then like a warranty. You're like a paid warranty is what you're saying. I feel like that price would be included in the repair. Going into business on your own is a new world with hidden pitfalls, like customers who go under stiffing you with unpaid bills. Yeah, I feel like there's ways to get around that though. I watch a lot, and I know it's not as easy as this, right? Because especially when you're building a brand new business, I feel like it's very important. Cash flow is a very important thing. It needs to be like number one. And I see a lot of people like go on to like Dave Ramsey, and they're talking to Dave Ramsey, and they're like, you know, my business has failed because it owes XYZ in debt and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay, so how did you get into the debt? And it's like, customers not paying. It's like one of the number one things. It's like, do you not take the money up front to cover at least the cost of the materials or supplies that you are, you know, putting up for the job? And the amount of people that say no is like crazy. The amount of people who are like, no, and a lot of people go back and say it's more like a reputation thing. So they don't want to scare people off with quotes and be like, right, we need a deposit of X amount to be able to. But I mean, you know, with a brief explanation of why it is that you actually need to take a deposit, it makes complete sense, right? But then I do think what happens in this scenario of you buy the stuff. Oh, no, wait. What would happen in this situation, chat? What would happen in this situation? Hear me out. You have a supplier that sells you parts, I'm not talking about repair. It's just come into my head and I'm wondering like how it would work legally, right? You have a supplier that's come in and they sell you parts. The parts for the job are going to cost £100. So you say to the customer, I need a deposit of £100 because the parts that I'm buying are going to cost £100. I'm at least covering the cost of the parts, at least. Or 120 to cover like some time that I have to spend ordering the part, whatever, right? So the parts are 100. You take the 100 deposit. We'll just keep it nice and easy. We keep it 100. Customer gives £100 to you. You pay the supplier £100 for the parts. In that period of you giving that money, the supplier goes bust and they're unable to give you back your £100, or also they're unable to give you back, give you the actual parts. This is a worst case scenario. So they can't give you £100 back and they cannot give you the items because they've gone bust. Who is then liable? Is it, in this example, me? To then give that customer £100 and me be £100 out of pocket because my supplier gone bust? And what happens there? I just, again, this isn't based on a real life story. I just thought about it and I was like, what actually happens? You have to get it from the company that went bust. Yeah, I thought that might be the case. Get the money back via the bank. Gotcha. I think I saw that sort of situation on Dave Ramsey, but we're talking 100,000. So that £100 is not £100, it's 100,000. But that's that. I just kind of like thought in that sort of in that sense of the conversation, like just an interesting one. How about taking JDT on the road? Yeah, I saw there's a local repair place near me, and maybe this is why I'm thinking about all this stuff again. They do that. They do the repairs. They have a shop. They have a van that has all the equipment in: microscope, soldering iron, hot air gun. They go round to you. They do the repair. They sit in their car 45 minutes. It's mostly iPhones, iPads, and those sorts of things. But they do HDMI ports on consoles and all those things. But they go around in their little van around the local area. Hi Joey, I put in a free repair 2 times, no reply. Can you please accept? Chill and relax. I can't reply to all of them because of how many I get. Let me tell you how many I've got to reply to. 40 unread. 40 unread. I can't sit there and reply to every single one, unfortunately, and it will feel even more rude of me to put an auto response. That's why I say in the form you might not get a response. And if you don't, please take that as I'm not accepting your device. What's PLD saying? It's often difficult to get people to pay for your stuff up front, so you don't have in stock on hand immediately, so you pay the risk. Yeah. I think, do you know what? And the risk is more so on items that are very expensive. Or not even very expensive, expensive. So if I have somebody comes to me and they want a brand new iPhone 16 screen, and I don't have any in stock, and that's gonna put me potentially in a big minus. If I buy this screen and that customer ends up not paying me for the job for whatever reason, like if that would happen in a I'm gonna say realistic world, then what I want to make sure happens is that I take the deposit for the actual screen itself. So at least I'm only losing time in labor in payment. That's it. I think stuff like that, if you're going and spending £100 on a screen, £150 on a screen, that's where you need to take payment up front. Harbringer, welcome. How are you? I'm getting too quick to no fix these days. As in, you're busy, PLD? It's often... Oh, sorry. Yeah, I just read that. I'm ill at the moment, Joey. Watching your lives keep me entertained. Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope you get better soon. SOL? What's SOL? You're definitely going to be SOL. Sol. Who's Sol? Is that liability? Something of liability. Source of liability. Oh. I see why you put Sol. Okay. Is this something business insurance covers? Oh, great question, Teresa. Potentially. Yeah. If it was a big amount, I would claim through insurance. Yeah. Really good shout, Teresa. Yeah, there would be insurance for those sorts of things, business insurance and whatnot, right? Depending on how much you pay and how much they will cover. Yeah, really good shout. I'm going through that now. Oh, sorry to hear, Powers. Stress. I can just imagine. Talk to Lewis Rossman about business insurance. Why? What happened? I feel like I really need to know now. Mepri, welcome. How are you? Do you think there's situations where an oscilloscope would be helpful in repair, and do you plan on getting one? I used to work with somebody at Rocket Repairs, and it was a viable thing. Like, it paid itself off. I personally, I mean, unless you're getting into like, I don't even want to say terminology because I'll get it wrong, but in-depth repairs, there's no need necessarily. But there are situations definitely where an oscilloscope can actually help. I think on like crystals and stuff. I don't know if they're called crystal chips. Guys, I've got to drop my car off at I've got to drop the other car off at a garage tomorrow. I've got dentist tomorrow. I've got to drop another car off at the garage tomorrow. G. Worked on a MacBook Pro, paid the $400 for a new screen, and the customer just kept saying next week. Oh man. Make them sign a contract if they don't come collect the device in a week or two. You could legally. I think actually here in the UK, because we had this at Rocket, right, where we used to have stacks of trays, guys. I'm talking like stacks and stacks of trays, where people just weren't collecting their stuff. So what would happen is like people would they'd get repairs done, and for whatever reason they would just not answer their stuff, or not. Do you know what the worst ones were? Like if it was unable to be repaired, and you're sat there waiting for a to be paid your investigation fee. So it went up to £30 after I left at Rocket to just be able to investigate. And what they ended up doing actually, which is quite smart, is that they charged up front the £30 investigation. So if your device was dropped off, you would pay that £30 just to cover that labour for inspection. Which is something they should have done a long time before that, but they eventually got round to it. But it's still very annoying when you've got stacks and stacks and stacks of repairs that need to go out the door that haven't been picked up because it takes up a lot of space. And there is a rule, what I was getting onto, is that there is a rule, I think, in the UK that by law, you're not allowed to chuck somebody's stuff out unless it reaches X amount of time. Let's ask ChatGPT. This is an interesting question. ChatGPT. By law, if I'm a repair shop that stores customers' devices and they don't collect their device after it's either been repaired or has been diagnosed unrepairable, am I able to get rid? Just see what it says. Let's see what ChatGPT says. Good question. The answer depends on where you're located. Laws differ between countries, states and provinces. I didn't specify UK. GG.
Appreciate you, Joey. Hope all is well.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that. No. Turn off. Turn off microphone. ChatGPT. Microphone off. Hello. Off. Sorry. UK specific. Ring Road, thank you very much for the Prime for 5 months in a row. Appreciate it. So the rule is bailment. When a customer leaves their device with you for repair, you hold it in bailment. You have a duty of care. You must take reasonable care of it whilst it's in your possession. Fair enough. If the item is lost, damaged or misused, you will be liable if you failed in that duty. Fair. Repairs lion. A lion, spelled L-I-E-N, is a right to retain someone's property until a debt, payment for repairs, is paid. There are different types: common law, possessory, and contractual. A possessory lion is you have lawful possession of the device. You have done work, improvement, repairs, or adding value, not just storage. Not just storage, that's interesting. Oh, it's pronounced lean. Gotcha, thank you. but this does automatically give you the right to sell. Oh, it doesn't automatically give you the right to sell the device. Lien gives retention, not sale. Okay, what's the summary here, chat? What this means for a repair shop in practice. Putting the legal theory into practical steps, here's what you likely need to do or should do to be safe. In your terms of business agreement, have it clearly written to say, if not collected within X days of notification, you may charge for storage, may consider device abandoned, or may dispose or sell to recover costs. Notification. After repair, inform the customer in writing that the device is ready, cost, amount owing, storage or holding fees, if any, and deadline for collection. Give a reasonable period, often something like 14 to 30 days, or whatever is reasonable for your business, considering the value storage costs. Keep records when the device was ready, dates of notices sent, how notice is sent, what times have passed, photos, etc. may help. And then if the customer doesn't respond to collect after the notice period, you may be able to invoke the statutory power of sale under Torts Interference with Goods Act 1977, or rely on a contractual term if you have one to sell or otherwise dispose of the device. If disposing, scrapping rather than selling, do so properly, especially for personal data and environmental regulations. You cannot just throw away or sell the device immediately without giving notice. Obviously, the device value matters. For low value goods, courts are less likely to impose harsh obligations or high value goods. The owner might demand redress, I'm assuming like a payment. Your lien is limited. Is common law. In common law, a repairer's lien doesn't always give right to cover storage or incidental costs beyond the repair cost unless there is a contract. Wow. Okay, so it's interesting. So the answer is wait a reasonable time. So as long as you give notice and have it documented. I feel like we used to keep devices for up to 6 months at Rocket. We used to 6 months. And we made an effort to contact people. There had to be 3 attempts of contact on the notes. 3 attempts at contact. All within, I think it was like a week spread out. So 1 week, week 1, week 2, week 3. All saying by X date, if you do not collect, we will recycle. Never used to sell it. Yeah, reasonable's crazy, right? Yeah. When Lewis attempted to file claims, he discovered the insurance company often referred obscure clauses and technical legalities to the denied coverage, which led to considerable frustration with it. I had an issue in my loft, chat. Do you remember the issue that I had in my loft? I had an issue whereby I work at home. I obviously had house insurance, which covers high wind damage to my property. My loft was damaged. From when I started working from home, I had not updated my insurance for the home insurance. I then went to put a claim in with the home insurance to say, I need a new roof, and it's happened because of high wind, which is covered on your thing. I had to fill out a questionnaire, and I've obviously put, yes, I work from home. They picked up on that straight away. Do you know what they done? They denied the cost of the roof in any way, shape or form, obviously. Fair play. I'm an idiot. They cancelled the home insurance that I had with my property and voided it back to the start date. So I was like, what? I haven't been insured now for 9 months or something stupid? So I panicked. I called up my the bank, obviously the mortgage people. And I said, hello, I'm worried now. I'm panicking because they voided my insurance because of what's happened. What's the situation? It's completely on me. Like, what happened? And they said, you're good. You're fine. Just take your time. Find house insurance. I was like, okay. Whew. Then I went to go find house insurance, chat. Because I had put in a claim but not got anything for the claim, it was deemed as a bad claim. So when I found a new house insurance and said that I was working from home, you know what happened? My premium went from £100 and something a year to over £800. Not only did I have to pay for a new roof, I stuffed myself so bad, I then had to pay £700 extra for my home insurance. That was a lesson learned. The thing is, right, I thought when I went from like working full-time, employed, to having the business and working from home, I thought, I've done it. I have made the switch. I've remembered everything. And then I think there was a period of like 2 months where it was like, you didn't do that, you didn't do this, because these are just things you don't think about. There was such a minute problem to me that I'd have to say that I work from home for my house insurance. I know that it kind of like, when you speak it out loud, yes, it seems obvious, but I don't know. Yeah, so that happened. I don't know why we obviously got into it because of the insurance thing, but yeah. It was something I had to do here when we got our mortgage. I had to make it explicitly where I worked at home, and then additionally I had to get business. Yeah, so I've had to get business insurance on top of it as well. Mine's probably going to be a little bit different to yours. That's the thing as well. I couldn't get insured. Nobody would insure me. This is back when I was self-employed. So before, well, technically I'm still self-employed. People look at it in different ways, but well, I have a business now. So obviously JDT is the business, but before that I was in a self-employed state as well as working employed, if that makes any sense at all. So I'd have my like income, like my salary, but then I also had JDT, which was self-employed, and I'd have to file a tax return each year for JDT. Took me several weeks to find someone who covered the home insurance. So I couldn't get, for what I wanted to do, nobody would insure me. I called up insurance companies and I was like, this is what I do. I buy broken consoles on eBay, I fix them and I sell them and I make content. And nobody would insure me. And I was like, GG. And factually true, that's one of the main reasons why I then made Joey Does Tech a business, because it's its own entity. It's separate to me. Yeah, just as a bit of a heads up and an FYI. No, we don't need a refund. This was years ago. 2 years ago, I think. I hope they refunded you all your insurance premiums. No. That was the thing. I had already paid, Jonathan, 9 months worth of insurance monthly payments. Thing is, though, again, it was £100 and something a year, so it wasn't even that much. Principle still applies, though. But that's the thing they say. We're not going to give you a refund because you've lied. It wasn't a lie. It was, I forgot. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those. But I mean, you could argue until you're blue in the face, you're not going to win something like that, unfortunately. So it was my fault entirely. But it's just one of the things I completely forgot. Yeah. Took me several weeks to find something. Yeah. Sorry. No worries, Gary. No worries. I used to work for a third-party company that used to investigate home insurance claims. It was horrible. Basically, 90% were refused due to lack of maintenance. Makes you wonder why. Yeah. That's why. I mean, like life insurance and everything like that. It does make you a little bit sick, because there is a big thing to say, like, you know, it is horrible, isn't it? The fact you pay all this money. And the payoff, it's like the cat's insurance, right? We pay quite a bit in cat insurance. The fact that it covers a lot of the things medically, that if our cats were to ever go through anything, we'd have the insurance. I guarantee there will be something that pops up that isn't covered because of whatever. But we pay like, I think it's something, I can't remember. It's like 30 quid each per cat per month. So it's like 60 quid a month, I think. And that covers like all of their needs. Might be a little bit more, to be fair. I have a motorbike now sat in my back garden. His insurance has gone silly. I've never made a claim on a bike. It's worth £700. They want over £2,000 to insure it. What? For what? It's crazy, man. We keep a big cash reserve for our cats. No way we're going to trust pet insurance. Yeah, do you know what, Paul? That's a very, 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 very good idea. Like, just putting money aside so that you just pay that when and in the unfortunate circumstance something like that does happen, right? God forbid it doesn't. But you also have a fair few cats, right? So, but I definitely think that's the, what does wrought mean? Wrought. That little drawing behind is so cute. Thank you, Under. Appreciate that. That's my daughter's shark. Because my daughter knows I like sharks. Anyway, I better do some work. Oh, a scam. Gotcha. I better do some work. Right, here we go. Sorry, guys. Bit like some rants today, hey? We've got some rants. Yeah, I need to do some thinking about sourcing. As always, I always end up in this position, and I never learn. They say the thing from insanity is like just never learning, right? And I just think to myself, oh, I'll always just I'll buy a load of faulty stuff and just pad it up for weeks and weeks and weeks. And it's the same thing of like, well, there hasn't been many items on eBay for sale in the last couple. Whoa! Oh, the thing fell off. The leg, guys. I lost the leg. Try pushing the table back. I've lost the leg. How does that work then? Who's calling me? Who is that? Oh no, did I silence it? Two seconds. Just dentist chat. Just confirm my appointment tomorrow. GG.
Live long and prosper.
Fireside chat. What does that mean? Oromai, thank you very much for the Prime for 13 months. What's a fireside chat? Did you sign some sort of contract at the end of your employment? You could have sent it to them as proof. Okay, they avoid your insurance just for the period you change your status. No, I didn't bother. I didn't bother, Neo. I didn't bother. Fireside, sit down and talk. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Ed. I'm glad you're enjoying the talk. I know that a lot of people don't. Right. Okay, this one is going to be interesting, chat. Do you remember what I said that we had to look at today? If you guys remember. Lovely jubbly. Okay. What's going on now? Yeah, I know. My missus just messaged me saying, we got to take the car. I know. All right. Joey, you should sell and repair any bad PSUs you get. Repairs typically aren't that difficult, and they sell for about 40 USD on eBay. Interesting to know. D-Tog. Love your vids and content. Learning a lot from you. Keep it up. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. Okay. Chat, what are we looking at today? Let me tell you. Faulty PS5. Yep, you heard it here first. It's a free repair, by the way. GG. He sent me a message this morning. Yeah. He actually sent me an email this morning at 11 o'clock saying any update. So, listen to this. Today is the 23rd of September 2025. I received an email for a free repair on the 8th of July, and I received the PS5 probably around about a week ago. So what's the issue with it? It's my 9-year-old nephew's. When he's plugged it into the TV, it's grainy. We had to buy a new one. Has anyone attempted to fix the device before? We sent it to a guy to try and fix it. He charged us £75, but the warranty sticker is still intact. It was bought as a Christmas gift for my nephew. He's 9 years old and absolutely loved it and cherished it. He was absolutely gutted when it broke. We went out and brought a new one for £450, which wasn't ideal. I'm not begging you to take a look, but I'd appreciate any advice you can give me. To which I said, of course I'll take a look. £75? And they haven't removed the warranty sticker? I find it hard to believe. Maybe they removed the warranty sticker and put another one back. But let me tell you this, we are going to get to the bottom of this and see what's going on. All right. Del Boy, welcome. Team Bugs, hello. Let's have a look and verify the problem, shall we? There is a number on here, so I'm going to take that off. Bada bing, bada boom. There's another number on here as well. Wait, so many numbers. Why are there so many numbers? Yeah, Bodge. Daily drivers that I've used them the whole time. Did you laser that off then, Bodge? How did that work? Or did you just buy it without a name on? Got blank ones. I see. Okay, fine. Here is the beautiful. I say beautiful. I mean, it's a little bit worn, as we can see. We got some marks down here. How's the back look? Back looks pretty clean, to be fair. I'm looking straight at that HDMI port. What are you telling me, HDMI port? Talk to me. Okay. Yep. All right. It's saying, Joey, you've lost the plot. It doesn't look like it's been changed. From what I can tell. Where's my tweezers? Where's my tweezers? Solid. Pretty solid anyway. Yeah, the port is solid. Okay. Let's open her up. Well, before we do that, let's test it. Wait a minute. I need to get very technical here. Wait there. I can't believe I'm going under the microscope for this. I'm going to plug in. Because I can't believe somebody would charge somebody £75 and not even remove the warranty sticker. If that were me, I'd be straight back to that shop. I know that some people can't be bothered with like the hassle of stuff, but I mean, that's just like thief. You are a thief, a theft, a thief, a thief. That's the word I'm looking for. However, they did say a guy. It did say a guy. But let's just bear in mind as well, they didn't say it wasn't fixable or anything. They just said, what did they say? Did they say it wasn't fixable? Oh, I got more information on this because I'm an idiot. Right, here we go. I've got more information. You ready? I said, if you're happy for me to take a look at this PS5, let me know and I'll send you further details. If the device is grainy, it's either going to be the HDMI port or it might be something more serious, in which case the device is toast. But I can confirm that for you. And he said, yeah, mate, he said, yes, mate, they took the PS5 and explained it couldn't be fixed after he had had a look at it. But once I got it back, I realised he didn't actually open it up. And then he's actually clarified a little bit more and said, so the guy we took it to worked in an electrical repair shop. He stated that after he dismantled it and realised it was the GPU and there was nothing he could do to repair it, but still charged us £75. I got it home and wanted to take a look at what he had done because there was a scuff that he'd caused. Then I'd realised the warranty sticker that has a screw underneath was untouched, prompting me to realise I've probably been fobbed off for £75. Not the best situation, I know. He's been scammed then. He's been scammed. Zoom in. Oh, I see Ben's. I don't know, man. I can't tell if this has been opened or not. I can't tell if it's been opened or not because I can see like the little folds here, but there's no like lifting on the sticker at all. Because if I do that, look, you can see instantly. If I just do this to try and lift this sticker off, even if I apply heat, look, if I just do that, right, and just if I then go ahead and pretend to put it back down, I can see like a little area around it where it's not been lifted. I can't see that. There's not a bit there. There's not a bit here, nor in the top left or the top right. So I don't think it has been taken off, even though we've got these little bends here. This very well could be from factory. And even here, look, you can just see. It's so strange. I don't know if it has been. I don't know if it has been taken off, you know. Unless this is just not a Sony one. But I think it is. I don't think this has been opened. In which case, I am wondering now if it's GPU related, and the person that worked in a repair shop might actually be right. And that concerns me because it means that this goes straight back and I don't get a video. So let's see what the situation is here. If I can plug in the cable. Whoa, look at the disk drive. Oh, I've just turned it off because I thought it wasn't working. Guys, look at this. Look at the state of that. What? Maybe that's the damage that the person who sent me this was talking about. That's horrendous. If that's the damage that they've caused. Jeez Louise. Yeah, I don't even know how that would happen. My guess is maybe they've tried to pick the PS5 up without this on and then that snapped. But then this is bent around. Like they've bent this around. So it's meant to be like this, I think. Like how is... I don't understand. Yeah, it's meant to be like that. Anyway, that bit of plastic needs to come off. It's not serving any purpose at all, is it? This bit of plastic. It's just making everything worse. Wait, what? What's going on with this disk drive, guys? There's no flaps. There's no flaps for the drive. Look, wait, is the drive in there? Or is it just a housing? Yeah, I can see the rollers. What on earth? Let's plug it in. Ready? See if it turns on. Make sure it goes to a white light before I do anything. So we have a white light. Let's check the picture. See you later, Wheaty. Much love. I don't get. Oh, it's just restarted. So this is an indication that it was turned off incorrectly, or it overheated, or something. Or they just, I think maybe what the shop done, or the person who had this before they sent it to me, is just yanked out the power cable, because I just heard 3 beeps as well, so it wasn't shut down properly before. Yeah, I don't know if there is meant to be screws here. I'm not too sure on this model of PlayStation. Regardless, I'm not actually getting an image. So I'm not getting a display here. I'm getting some sort of like black monitor lock for a few seconds, but I'm not getting anything else. So I think we can confirm no display. Right, let's turn it off and have a look and see what's going on and see if it's open. I can't wait to see if it's been opened before. I think another telltale sign of this, the fact that it's not been opened, is look at the sticker here. That's pretty. That's been. I mean, if they have taken it off, they've put it back very, very nicely. Now I know there's meant to be screws here, but I didn't know whether that's meant to be true on this version, on this model, which is a 1216A, I believe. Yeah, 1216A. I know on the 1000 and 11,000. 1000 and 1100. I know that there's meant to be screws in the disk drive. Part of me's like, chat, what if they took the screws out here and tried lifting here to take the PlayStation apart? What if that is a possibility here? So like, they've taken the screws out thinking that that's how you start taking apart the PS5, and then they've pulled on the plastic. I don't know. I'm just kind of, I'm theory crafting here. I think maybe the key word from the email is that they used to work at an electronics shop, right? So why don't they work there anymore? This is dusty. £75? They're supposed to have, okay, so someone's just confirmed as well that they are meant to have screws in the disk drive. Yeah, this hasn't been opened. I'm fairly confident. Oh! This poor console has not been able to breathe properly for years. Send it to the gooch collector. No, this is my gooch. Well, not mine. The person who sent it in, it's their gooch. Yeah, this hasn't been opened before. I would say to the person who sent this in to me, you can use this as proof to say, where's my £75? Look at the state of this dust bunny. This dust bunny is not a dust bunny. This is a dust megalodon. This is a dust bunny. I've got no bin. I've got no bin. They need to get there. It's not a case of like, you know, if you need to get your money back. Unless they somehow rig the £75 investigation fee. And it's contract. This is so dusty, man. This is what happens if you don't clean your consoles, by the way, guys, or get them serviced. This is so much dust. Is the dust problematic? Absolutely. The reason why the dust is problematic is because it can clog up the ventilation, which can then cause your console to overheat. Now, I know like people would say, overheating is, I mean, it's not too bad as long as it's kind of like working, and sometimes the problem goes away and whatnot. But the thing is, if your console doesn't shut itself down for that protection, that's when you burn out components, and that is where you will brick your PlayStation 5. Think about it, if that component is getting hot over and over and over and over again, eventually it's going to give out. Has to. You are massively shortening the life and your investment of a console and a PC if you don't clean it. Doesn't even have to be often. Once a year. You could get away with once a year easy. Anthony!
Be grateful we don't have roaches
Honestly,
in the UK.
how disgusting is this? Mate, thank you so much for the 25. I massively, massively appreciate that. How are you, my friend? Are you okay? I hope you're well. So, clean your own device. Clean your devices of dust that have fans. Absolutely. If you can't, take it to a professional, because that investment is going to save you hundreds, is what I would say. That small investment of, even if it's say like £60 that somebody charges for you to like have your console cleaned, that's going to save you £500 or however much a console is going to be. And you get to keep the love of your life. It's worth it, I'd say. This definitely hasn't been. I know I've said this about 17 times. It's not been open. The way that shield came off is really, really tough. I'm excited to see why this console isn't displaying a display. Displaying a display. Lol. I reckon I'm going to place my bets now, and if this happens, I know people will be super suspicious, even though this console hasn't been opened before. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to say here, I reckon the solder has simply come away from one of the pins. The port isn't necessarily damaged. I think the solder, I'm predicting it now with PS5s in general, and most of the repairs that I used to do at Rocket was somebody coming in saying that their display's faulty. It is just simply because the solder isn't good enough. Maybe user error where they've pushed on the HDMI port a little bit too much, but this port looks clean, right? From the outside, it looked okay. But I think that the solder is going to be cracked or disconnected from the pin. Specifically, I will say pin 19. If I'm going to be even more specific. Pin 19, potentially only pin 19, will be the only pin affected. I'm calling it. Could be wrong. Could be making an absolute fool of myself. Sounding so confident about it, but this is what used to happen all the time. Yeah, it could also be HDMI chip. Could still be anything. These are just it's just like a guess, you know. Going based on like previous logic, previous XP. Where on earth? Oh, where's that gone then? That's not good, is it? My double-ended careful, Joey. My double-ended metal prying tool. Found it. Chill out, chat. That's very oxidized, by the way. Look at the state of that. Wow. That's so oxidized. See that? That's some next level technician stuff if turns out true. What with the call on the HDMI port? Let's have a look now. Let's have a look now. I don't think it's next level. I think it's just like based on experience, right? Because that's what used to happen. What do you guys think? Is what I said logical for people who deal with PS5 repairs a lot? I think so. Let's see. Momentous of truth. Get it in focus. Here's the port. All the pins look okay. To be fair, the solder doesn't look too bad on it. Where's my tweezers? Pin 19 is solid, unfortunately. 18's a little bit loose, but not horrendous. Fine, 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 fine. Farley, thank you very much for the Prime for 2 months. I appreciate you. Thank you. Fine. Ah. There we go. Look at that. That's our issue. These three. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Now, regardless of the situation, unfortunately, I'm not just going to solder that and call it quits. And the reason being is because the clasp isn't even that bad. I mean, I didn't get pin 19 right. Let's put it that way. I didn't get pin 19 right, but I got those pin. The idea that the solder was just rubbish. There we go. And that is definitely the case. The solder is just rubbish. And this is factory, chat. And you can see as well, let's just bear this in mind. This doesn't even look like it's been shunted back. Like these pins here, they're not like down here. Do you know what I mean? Look, that's just fact. This is factory. People ask why, why do PS5 HDMI ports break all the time? It's factory. And this is one of the newer generation, right, in terms of the newer model. So it's a 1200. It's a 1216A. Replace port rather than resolder pins. Yeah, I mean it's the clasp. The reason why I'm going to replace it is because of the clasp here. I'll be honest with you, if we were in a situation where the clasp was fine and the port looked absolutely like spotless, very much like this one, to be fair, except for the fact that the clasp, I would just double check the inside of it and make sure we didn't have any bent pins or anything along those lines here. Like the plastic was okay and it all looks hunky-dory, which this one, again, I'm going to be honest, does look absolutely fine other than a bit of dust. Why not just touch up those pads? Why not just touch up those pads, in my opinion? I never, ever, ever done it at Rocket. I always gave a new port. But especially in the essence of like a free repair, not being stingy or anything, but I just think, like, what difference does that make? I'm not charging you here for a HDMI port swap. I'm fixing your device, in which case it's like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe the plastic has come out a little bit. Can you see here? Okay. Maybe that is the situation we have. See that? Ever so slightly. This one, nothing. Unless I kind of wedge in between. But this one, maybe they pushed a little bit too hard or something. You never know. But yeah, I will do a port change. I will do a port change. I've got like half an hour. So 2 seconds. I'm going to go wee again. And we'll get back to it. 2 seconds. I'll put the music on. And Charlie will keep you entertained for 2 seconds.
Big up my boy Charlie. How it's sitting, mate?
Techno, thank you very much for the 100 bits, my friend. I appreciate you. You've triggered a hype train. The time that I really need a focus, the hub train, is because I saw the word hub. The hype train comes along. Standard, absolutely standard. Lord of Glove. Why oh why, huh? Why oh why? Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Right, here we go. Let's get this port changed. I've not changed a HDMI port on a PlayStation 5 in the longest time. Genuinely. I can't remember the last time I did. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put my hot air gun up to max temp and speed, 480 degrees Celsius, 99% airflow. And I'm simply just going to hover the hot air above. Technically behind, and I flip the board upside down, and this port should just fall out. Welcome, Michael. Welcome back. Can you see the factory flux starting to bubble? These ports usually, because shock of the solder situation that we saw, they usually fall out pretty easily. Not compared to the competitor, the Xbox Series X. They take ages. There we go. See that? Didn't touch it or anything. Just lift it up a little bit. Be interesting to see if there's any rip pads because of that little pushback on the plastic. Let's flip it over. Looking good. I'm going to come in with some fluxy. I'm not going to remove the solder. I used to remove the solder, but there is literally no need to. This solder hasn't harmed or hurt anyone. The lack of it is the issue. Hello. Thank you very much for the subscription. Damn, coming in with a prime for 5 months in a row. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. 1 minute 30 left on at the hype train clock. Again, I'll now come in with my soldering iron. And all I'm going to do here is mix the leaded with the unleaded. That's going to lower the melting temperature. Meaning it's going to take less heat for me to put this pot on. And we're just touching up the solder a little bit because, again, we do not have enough. I used to remove the solder. Beautiful. But then I kind of realized there was no need to do that. And now I clean as I go. So I know that I've literally only just put flux on and started working in the area. But I love to clean as I go. It makes the job 10 times cleaner. And just easier in general. In my opinion. Yo, Retro coming in with a tier 1 for 25 months. Thank you, mate.
By before I have to head out. Have a good rest of stream.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, my friend. And then we come back in with some flux. Now, I spread this flux out. I'm not going to do too much. Just a little bit over this area. And that's prepped, ready to go. Literally for me to drop a port on, it's ready. That's how quick this can be once you kind of get an idea of what it is and how you're doing it. and you get some experience behind you, this can be a relatively quick and easy job. It's like anything in life. What I like to do is tin the port. So I'm just going to do that off camera real quick, just by adding flux and putting my soldering iron over it. Just ensures that there's a good bond between the board and the port itself. Thank you guys for the level 2 hype train. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good job, Fred. Thank you so much, Retro. I appreciate you. I think I tinned that okay. Yeah, that's tinned. I was on 350. I was wondering what was a little bit sticky. That makes sense. I'm just going to go back over these ground holes quick. So I was on 350 degrees Celsius, not 450. It's a big, big difference. The fact that I've managed to do what I've done at 350 is nice. Cool. Over the edge of the table. Get us in focus. Again, it's been a very long time since I've done one of these. Heating the board from underneath. We are keeping the exact same temps here. So 480 degrees Celsius, 99% airflow. And I'm simply rotating that heat, very much like we do on the USB-C port on a Nintendo Switch, okay? 1/4 of an inch away from the back of the board. And I'm waiting for everything to molten. Here we go. See that? I'm still going to hold it a little bit just to make sure the pads are molten. I think they are. Yeah. Now we put the port on. Sometimes they don't like to go in. Like this one. What I'm not going to do now is panic and struggle. I'm just going to hold it and hope that it drops. And there's the drop. Now I'm just going to poke the port, give it a couple of moves around, make sure that we're nice and flat to the board, which we are. There is a really good position. And I'm just going to keep that hot air on the bottom and make sure that solder climbs up the legs of the ports. Sometimes it doesn't, and you can add or leave. It's completely entirely up to you. I'm just going to give this a little list of touches and come off the heat and wait for that solder to solidify. Wait for it. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Ground hole on the right solidified, and now the solder on the board. It's nice and almost like a duller grey now because it's gone solid. And then we take the scope, drag it over, and give this a clean pretty much instantly. Now, when I say clean, I don't mean drop IPA on it and give it a clean. I mean the board is really hot right now. So if you just come along with a cotton swab and give this a nice wipe, because it's so hot, you'll get majority of that flux off. Thank you guys very much for the level 2 hype train. I appreciate you. That should literally be clean. And if I turn this around and look on the back, how's that look? The back looks nice, to be fair. This is factory flux. This the brown substance is more so factory. But that to me looks really good. I feel sorry for the person who sent this through to me, because they could have saved quite a bit of money, but then they also got scammed. So how are they meant to trust somebody now? You know? That's the issue, isn't it? How do we look? We look good. I'm going to test these. So what I do is I put the scope really close. I adjust to make it very crystal clear, and you can see I don't really need to go over them, if I'm honest, because you can see that we have solder. You see the solder on the sides of the port, in the holes, in the ground holes, and you also see the solder on the pins. This is why I use the drop method. But you can clearly see these pins specifically are all soldered to the board. You can see that by not having to touch them. It takes a little bit of experience, I guess, to know what it's meant to look like. But I think this would be a pretty good representation of the solder going over the pins and making a solid connection to the board. These little white hairs that you see are fibers from the cleaning. Yeah, these are all solid. Yeah, all good. Cool. So this theoretically now should work. Ow. This needs to go outside for a clean. I'm not going to obviously do that on stream because I can't. But this needs to go outside. I'm going to give it a general dust, take out the power supply, and just make sure that this is A1 for the person that I'm sending this back to. I'm also not going to sort liquid metal just yet because, again, I need to take it back apart to give it a nice clean. So this is just for testing purposes only, just to make sure that I get a display, because I didn't get one before. So I just need to make sure that I get something on the screen, in which case if I do, then I take it out and give it a nice clean. I always put the APU clamp on just in case. The PS5 will survive a good like 5 minutes, 10 minutes on the menu without the fan. I don't know about this one though, because of how insulated it is. Let's say that. Right, here we go. I'll put camo on so you guys can actually see the screen as well at the same time as I can. What's camo? Camo is the camera app that I use on my phone to link up with OBS so that I can show you in real time exactly what the situation is. Chat, do you think it's going to work? Yes or no? Have we socked ourselves another free repair? Stop using camo in OBS to switch profile. I don't believe it. Okay, so I'm going to have this as vertical, by the way. So this is going to have to be vertical, all right? Just for the time being, because I need to switch it as I'm doing stuff live. Oh, wait, have I also got it on ultra wide or something? Because that looks... Yeah, I have. Let's put it on just normal. This is better quality. Wait there. Okay. iPhone. What on earth? It's because it's... Wait there. iPhone camera. Transform. Reset. Okay, hold on. Transform. Stretch to screen. Oh my goodness. Transform, reset. I'm going to have to drag it like this, aren't I? Sorry, guys. This is as good as it's going to get, all right? This is as good as it's going to get. Okay. I'm sorry. I haven't plugged it in. Let's plug in the power. And the Huchtimer. Okay. Here we go. Power on. 3, 2, 1. We had a beep. Oh, I haven't plugged the LED in. Okay. Perfect. Right. So, do we get a display? That thing is dirty. You guys have no idea. Look at that. This poor machine. 3, 2, 1. It takes 2. All right. It takes 2 times. This is the first time. Do we get anything? It's probably going to go back to my normal display, isn't it? Judging by this. Yeah, I know I need to clean my monitor. I know my monitor is a little bit dirty. Yep. And here we go. Second time. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Does it lock? If it says HDMI 1, we're on to a winner. There's HDMI 1. Sure. Liverpool champions. Here we go. Guys, we have a display. This PlayStation 5 is fixed. Would you look at that? Lovely. Jubbly. Oh, yeah, we also have the drive to deal with, don't we? I don't know what the situation is going to be regarding the drive, if I'm honest, because I wonder if it's the same drive. If I replace the drive, it's going to be a costly one. If I replace the drive, it's going to be a costly one. How does 75 sound? Yeah, guys, look, you can see how dusty this thing is. It's crazy. Negative points for the name, boo. Did it work? Yes, it is. It did, yeah. No, it's missing plastic, Neo. It's missing plastic. It's not a case of fix or swap. It needs a swap because of the plastic missing. You know, like the foam bits at the front. I might have a bad donor that I could use the chassis from. You should sign every motherboard you fix. Nah. Nobody wants a signed JDT motherboard. Blaine, your stuff was sent yesterday, by the way. I sent your stuff from the post office yesterday, so it should get there. I'm going to say tomorrow. Sometimes 48 hours can be next day, but I'm going to say it's going to get there tomorrow for you. I hope. But yeah, I sent it off, mate. It's all done. And I put a donor board in there with a switch charging port, so you can have a go at practicing. I saw somebody actually. I saw a video of somebody using what's it called, chat? I'm actually going to stick this over here for now. Wait there. I saw somebody using a cloth. No, sorry, a microfiber pen. I saw somebody using a microfiber pen. Microglass, glass fiber, fiberglass. That's the one. I saw somebody using a fiberglass pen to clean this up. Because they can get really, really oxidized. Should I try it? I've got a fun fact. I've got a fiberglass pen. I've never used it. I've got one here. I mean, I've always used Q-tip and I've not had any issues. Just got to give it a good scrub. IPA, Q-tip. And then after the IPA is gone, again, just to clean with the Q-tip. And then IPA to move the liquid metal back onto it. And that should, yeah, so much better. Look at that. Oh, it spreads so much easier. When you clean it properly, liquid metal spreads so nicely. Versus when it's oxidized, it just moves about. It's horrible. So much better. Wow. You work so much slower in live streams compared to YouTube. Lee, yeah, the reason I take my time is because the work that I do is more so like entertainment. So it kind of takes longer because I like to interact with the chat and, you know, not play around essentially, but make it fun, make it more entertaining. Because if I just sat here in quiet and did repairs, I don't think we'd have the viewers that we have today. And luckily, I'm not on anyone's time, and I can take my time. If I was a repair shop, that's exactly what I'd be doing. I'd still be like talking, you know? I'd still be talking, but I'd be a lot more, it's time to work. Which ones? Star Mix. Okay. Mrs. JDT wanted some Star Mix Haribo. She didn't even have to say anything. Chat. I knew the look. That's 14 years of relationship. So Blaine, thank you very much for those Haribo. They are for Mrs. JDT. There's a screw there. State of this chat, more dust bunnies. Actually, the power supply is not the issue here. It still needs to blow out, but the it's more so this heatsink. Look, that's the part of your PS5 you're unable to clean if you just take the lids off. It's very difficult. Right, I'm gonna literally. I mean, it's 20 past. I need to go because I have to take my car to the garage. GG. Drop it off. I don't know how much I'm gonna get charged. I had an MOT on it last year, chat. They said within 6 months you need to come back because your brake pads are gone and your tyres are extremely warm. You've got 3 months. It's been 9 months, chat. So, wish me luck. Please. Wish me luck. I might actually. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I have got dentist as well. I think what I might do is after the dentist, I might go live with this and see what the situation is with the disk drive and carry on the video there. Or I might not do that and just record the rest of it. And then that way people have you guys have something to look forward to who have been here for the live stream to actually watch the video. Guys, much love. Have a good one. Have you enjoyed the stream? Yes or no? Because I need to go out quickly and blow this out. I have given the subathon some more thought. I just need stuff to fix. That's where I'm at. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you and your faces. And as always, I shall see you in the next one. Thursday, most probably. If not, Sunday. Much love. Have a good one. See you later. Goodbye.